What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Drone Camps channel. I'm Justin Davis with another review today. We're going to check out the URUAV Flipo 95 HD edition. There's also an analog version, and I believe the HD edition's under $300. We'll have to double check that price point. You can check out the link down below, but also make sure to subscribe on my channel because I have tons of new reviews coming up. But most importantly, subscribe and make a comment down below because I'm giving away an Eachine Novice 4 sometime in the month of July. So you'll find out when the winter video is coming out. Make your comment on any of this month's videos and you'll get entered to win. So go back and check those videos out. And without further ado, today we're going to go ahead and jump right into the URUAV Flipo 95 HD version. I'm super happy because the original version of this did really well. It is a little Cinewhoop 2.5-inch 4S analog or HD quadcopter that can pretty much do anything in the backyard. It can do cinema or freestyle, and it's a pretty compact, lightweight unit. I was happy to see that with the success of the first one, the analog one flew so well for freestyle and cinema that they decided to make an HD version. So that's kind of nice for the DJI guys out there. So either way you go with this one, it's a really good flyer. But we're gonna go ahead and put a 4S 1100 milliamp battery on there. This is one of the Eachine batteries, and I have a couple of these and they've been doing pretty good. I also have the GNB version over there. This is the Eachine version, and this one's actually a little smaller. 1100 milliamp will get you about 10 minutes flight time on this little guy, and this is the GNB 1100 series battery. But I think that the Eachine ones are actually doing pretty good. Sometimes I've had those kind of not really give me a long flight time and kind of, peter out after a little bit of flying. So this is a good new battery. It is a 50C HV version of this battery, so it can charge up to about 4.35 volt versus this 4.2 volt over here. And let's just double check that this one's an HV. This one's also an HV, so you can run HV batteries on the Flipo HD or the analog version. But right now we're gonna go ahead and do the backyard flight test. I have a beautiful day here to fly, so enjoy the flight with me and let's explore some of this really fun backyard to fly. Here we go, guys. Enjoy the flight. After that, we'll come back after the break. We'll talk about this quad on the bench and what it's all about. The good and the bad, as always. Honest review here on the channel. Here we go, guys. Let's do some flying. Guys, welcome back from the flight break. What did you think about that? This little guy can really hit some gaps. I was finding all kinds of new lines around the yard with this setup. Being able to fly HD back here, it's just, I mean, amazing. There's so many places to fly and find a little race course without even having to set up a bunch of gates. I mean, I have a lot of natural stuff back here that we can do, but so much fun, so stable in stability mode. And in acro mode, you can still even do some freestyle. Even though I got wild here, it's a little bit tight to go super high with this quad in the backyard. But man, it's nice to be able to see really well with the crystal HD setup I have from iFlight on my goggles. This works super great. I'm also flying the DJI transmitter today along with it. And I have to say my eSheen batteries, they're doing quite well. These are the eSheen 4S 1100 HV batteries. Kind of an alternative to my favorite G&B batteries. You guys have seen me fly these a lot. They've been really, really great. I got this one with the Cinestar kit, so I'm still flying that battery after about a year, so that one's still going strong, and these are my new guys in the equation. But this little guy, it has an F4 AIO flight controller on here. It does have 20 amp ESCs, and it has 1106 4500 kV motors. And this little guy is coming in on the scale, weighing at around 114 grams. So that's super lightweight. You can see they're 114 grams. Let's put the eSheen battery on there and see what that gets us up to, around 206 grams total takeoff weight. So you still have plenty of room on here to add your action camera. That's pretty good. So that's well under the 250 gram mark. You can access the Cadex Vista on this side right here. And if you remove this screw right here, this pops up, and then you access your USB port for Betaflight. So that's one thing there. You could take a razor blade and sort of cut an open port there, but I kind of like the flight controller being nicely contained. It keeps all the dirt and dust and everything off of it when you're flying. Since you do have inverted motors, it's pushing a lot of airflow underneath this quad, but I've talked about this before. The nice thing about having these inverted motors is that, number one, it makes it fly really stable in stability mode for cinema type work. You could do real estate fly-throughs with this. You could probably even get away with some minor cinema work with this if you're doing professional work, or even just doing videos for yourself. It has a lot of clearance underneath here for the airflow. Since you have inverted motors, the second best thing about this is the fact that there's no airframe or no airflow interruption from the frame. A typical quadcopter has the motors facing up, so you get that sort of airflow interruption from the frame. So you have really clean airflow underneath this type of quadcopter, which is really nice. You've seen quite a few quads coming out like this now, so it is great that they finally have the HD version of the Flipo. We also have a 90mm frame here, and it is a 3mm top plate, and it is a unibody front to back. We've got that backseat Cadex back there. You've also got an Immortal T TPU antenna back here set up with the Flipo FPV antenna. Well, that's actually the UFO antenna. We do have built-in LEDs, and I got foam bumpers along with mine. Mine came in the box, and I just put them on, starting in the back, went all the way around, and put them on nicely. They stick on nice. And that'll just give you some bounce. I hit all kinds of stuff out here in the backyard today, and it really did actually just kind of bounce off things. And I have no frame damage, which is cool. So you have this ABS prop guard with extra struts here on each side. And what surprised me was they did use two different types of screws on the motor. They used a 2mm Allen bolt through here to the motor, and then they used Phillips heads on the actual prop guard part of the frame. So that's interesting to me. They also have in the box a nice TPU mount that goes on here for a decased GoPro, and it comes along with the bolt that goes through here. And it is dampened with 3 grommets here. So your camera actually does not have a lot of jello, if any, in the tune on this quad. So it came tuned really nice. And another nice thing for the beginners, you notice here, you see those 2 plugs? Those are 2 JST plugs right there, and those are plug and play from each motor. So that means that if you blow out a motor, when I was out in the grass and trying to do turtle mode, that's a little bit dangerous because I could get a stick stuck up in here and burn out a motor. So in that case, if you burn out a motor on this quad, you have 4 plugs, 1 for each motor, and you can unplug a motor and plug a new one in. You can get extra parts for this quad on the Banggood website, but I'm seeing right now that on their website it's $279 for the HD version. You've got all these extra spare parts, even antenna parts. You can get the spare part for the GoPro, actually the Insta360 Go here for about $8. You can get that, and then the actual analog version looks like that one's around $135 without the camera. If you want to get the full camera analog version for 4S, that one's $165. So that's pretty good price. And extra motors are $18 for 2. So I think the price for everything on this quad is good. It's a budget Cinewhoop, and it's actually one of the ones that fly just as good as anything that's going to be super expensive in the $300 to $400 range. This one is really going to be competitive for analog flyers or HD flyers, in my opinion, just because it flies good. I mean, cheap parts and it flies good, and it's URUAV. So I believe URUAV is just another company of Ishin, honestly. So I believe it's a Banggood company, but it's doing good for me, and I think it would do good for you, especially if you have a fun place to fly like this. This was a lot of fun to fly today. So guys, thanks for watching my reviews and my flight test. Be sure to make your comment down below on this video to get entered in to win that Novice 4 coming up. Novice 4 with GPS, TX12 transmitter from Radio Master, a charger, and everything you need to fly. It even comes with a case. So subscribe and make your comment down below, and you'll be entered to win that contest coming up. We're going to give it away in about a week's time. But thanks again for hanging out with me, guys, in the backyard today and flying the Flipo 95 F95 HD 4S 95mm Cinewhoop. Super fun. HD version. So much fun. You can check out the links below, guys. Take care. Please subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.